Hi everyone, this is AutoSolve, and today we're looking at accounting reconciliations using AI. In accounting, time is money, but accuracy is everything. Every month, accounting teams across the world face the same challenge: reconciling bank statements against the general ledger. It's repetitive, it's time consuming, and under pressure, even the best teams can miss critical discrepancies. But imagine this: instead of spending hours combining fruit transactions, chasing mismatches, and updating records manually, an AI agent does it for you. Not just faster, but with the ability to flag anomalies, explain variances, and even suggest corrective actions in real time. Today, I'm going to show you how agentic AI transforms reconciliation from a reactive manual task into a proactive, automated safeguard for financial integrity. It's about freeing your team from routine checks so they can focus on strategic decisions, not spreadsheet firefighting. It's about fewer late nights, fewer errors, and more confidence in your numbers. Let's see how AI can become the most reliable member of your accounting team. Today, I'm excited to introduce you to something that I've come up with that potentially might work for you. Now, we're going to kick this off with a quick little demo. So, this demo here is hosted within Google Colab. I've set up a little workflow here. So I'm just installing some dependencies here. I'm setting up my access to ChatGPT API endpoint, but would need that. Here I'm also setting up a quick simulated environment for accountancy by creating these two files. One is for bank statement transactions and one is for general ledger transactions. Now, I repeat, this is solely to do with creating a real accounting environment for our demo. Further up here, I'm creating a tool using LangChain and LangGraph. This tool will be used by our AI agent, and this will be performing the reconciliation. So it's all done within the Python as a function. The function goes into the files and does the reconciliation, and obviously outputs the result, whether it's if everything's reconciled or there's been some issues. Now, further up here, we are creating our state, which is effectively something that will be accessible to our AI network of agents every step of the way, and currently just consists of previous messages. So each agent will have access to all the messages and the history of the messages. Here we're creating our reconciliation node that will be running through the React agent here. And then we're creating our simple supervisor. Then quickly here we're setting up a graph. LangGraph operates via the graph, which is effectively a way of how our AI agents will be passing information from one agent to another, how the information will flow. And that is a little demonstration of how it's going to look. This is our supervisor. You'll be speaking to the reconciliation agent, and reconciliation agent will be feeding back to the supervisor. And that is the demo. So we are asking our agent to perform reconciliation between general ledger and bank statement, and we're feeding the two files to it, right? So that's how the first file looks, just 3 payments on 3 dates on the bank statement, and the general ledger information with pretty much the same dates with the exception of the final bank fee, right? It's the same bank fee, but the date differs. Reconciliation will be performed based on both date and the amount, so they both need to match. So we should see that the bank fee would not be matched up. And And here shows the flow of our reconciliation. So we're obviously triggering the first agent. It routes it to reconciliation node. Within the reconciliation node, it shows us the GL dataset, the bank dataset, and it immediately performs reconciliation by showing that the bank fee transaction has not been reconciled. It's missing on both left-hand side and the right-hand side due to the date. The date is different. And the supervisor, obviously, once this discrepancy is identified, the supervisor received this report, and it actually makes a comment stating that there is an issue with one transaction missing for this date and for that date. So there it is, there is the demo. So now as a next step, allow me to quickly go back to my slides and just walk you through some information here. So here is the set of main points that I would like to bring across. First of all, we're using ChatGPT API endpoint, so you would need to have your ChatGPT API access point sorted out. You would have to feed this to your network so that they're able to make the calls to the ChatGPT. Alternatively, you could be using Grok, Claude, or any other strong enough neural network that be able to handle this load. We're also using LangGraph and LangChain frameworks to build the network of AI agents and combine them so that the flow of information suits our needs. And obviously, to simulate the accounting environment, we are using combination of two dataset files. One is for bank transactions, and the other one is for set of general ledger transactions. Okay, so now how does it work? So first we produce and deposit the two files, both dataset files, and we're placing them where AI will be able to access those. And within our example, that's actually within the Google Colab setup. You can do it locally on your machine, if you will. Step number 2, the supervisor agent. Remember, there's two agents in our network. There is supervisor agent and reconciliation agent. So the supervisor agent picks up the requirement. It passes it on to the reconciliation agent. Reconciliation agent picks up the two files. It attempts to reconcile them, and any variances, it flags them up back to the supervisor. And obviously, supervisor in the end provides the final comments on what's been issued in terms of whether the two data sets have been fully reconciled or there are some variances, and it makes the comment on what's exactly happened, how identical the two data sets, which is a very usual, very normal task for accounting team to be going through in terms of having two data sets that they're trying to reconcile and find any anomalies or differences. Now, how is this relevant to accounting departments, finance and tax departments? Well, AI agent obviously does all the reconciliation behind the scenes. It does so using Python code, right? So it's fully automated, and the user doesn't have to perform anything, right? As long as the user's got access to AI agent, as long as the user has a strong enough PC to handle the data load, it should be fine. Also, all the user has to do is to provide the input files for AI agent to process. So there's no parameters or anything that the user must provide. All it has to do is to specify what needs to be reconciled, and it needs to provide the files that need to be reconciled. It just needs to ensure that the files are the rightful files that should be reconciled. So if we're comparing, I don't know, June, July, right, Both files need to be in the right format, containing the right information. But even so, if there was an issue, the AI agent would point this out, stating that there are no transactions for the current month from either side, from one side or from the other side. Please review your files. That's exactly the message that you would receive from the agent. And output provided by AI agent would have kind of the summary for yourself in terms of what's been identified as a difference, where could the difference be coming from, why it's actually there. If you're missing a transaction and on the bank side of things, it would ask you to go back to the source and potentially review the transactions that could be in hold, could be delayed, could be missing. So it would point you in the right direction in terms of what you could do to kind of complete your reconciliation. Right, and this is how reconciliation here. This is how reconciliation normally looks, right? When the accountant has to perform it for a month, or for a combination of months, it has to just get the two data sets. One will be with the bank statement, the other one will be with accounting records, and it has to cross them all off and balance them because they do need to match up. Let me quickly come back to the Colab code. Yes, so just to quickly reiterate, we've got our two data sets. We've got our installation of all the dependencies. This is the data set being built for GL, General Ledger transactions. That's the bank statement. I mean, clearly we're just doing this on the fly here, using Pandas framework, but that could be easily done with any other tool, including the database. What else? We have this tool here, so all I'm doing here is displaying the data set, well, several entries at least, from either data set. That's to ensure that we've got this trace of where the bot is, where the agent, what agent is doing during the execution. We're obviously converting both data sets to comparable formats. In terms of date, as to ensure that obviously the reconciliation, the joining of the two tables would work. We're doing the rounding up as well. Amounts need to be rounded up. And we're performing the reconciliation over here. Obviously everything that's not been matched, it's been saved in the separate variable. And we're just checking that variable. If it's empty, then obviously everything's been reconciled. Alternatively, we're producing a report with all the mismatches. Now here we're creating our reconciliation agent. We're providing our neural network, which is ChatGPT piece here, and we're supplying tools that the agent will have access to. And obviously we're creating this as a node because LangGraph will need this to be converted into a function. Here, once reconciliation's been performed, we're just using a command here in order to obviously update our messages within the state. Right? That ensures that at every step of the way, agents got access to this list of messages. And we are directing the next flow of information back to the supervisor. Obviously, we're creating a supervisor here whose sole purpose is merely moving the data flow back to the reconciliation node. And here is our graph being compiled. So we're starting by declaring the nodes, creating this the state of the graph, and obviously we're just doing a basic setup to ensure the supervisor passes and kicks off the workflow. And obviously here we're just doing a little visual on how the chain, the graph would actually look. And here we're performing the trigger. So I hope it all made sense. If you have any questions, concerns, or anything you think I should be aware of, just please let me know. Thank you so much for your attention, and until next time.